If people constantly unload their problems on you but disappear when you need support, you're not being a good friend. You're being an emotional dumping ground. And the reason they keep doing it, you're making one critical boundary mistake. Here's what it is. There's a difference between supporting someone and being used as their free therapist. Real emotional support is reciprocal. Emotional dumping is one-sided, draining, and often leaves you feeling worse than before the conversation started. Studies show that highly empathetic people are most vulnerable to this because you feel guilty setting boundaries. But here's the truth. Letting people dump on you isn't kindness, it's self-destruction. Let's break down why this happens and how to stop it. What emotional dumping actually is. Emotional dumping is when someone unloads their stress, trauma, or problems on you without permission, without reciprocation, and without taking responsibility for their emotions. Here's what it looks like. They call you at midnight venting for an hour about the same problem they refuse to fix. You offer advice, they ignore it. You try to share your own struggles, they change the subject back to themselves. The conversation ends when they feel better, not when you do. Notice the pattern? You're not in a conversation. You're in a one-way emotional transaction where you give energy and they take it. Real support looks different. It starts with consent. Hey, do you have space to talk about something heavy? It includes reciprocity. They check on you too. And it involves action. They actually work on their problems instead of just complaining. Emotional dumping has none of that. It's toxic venting disguised as friendship. Why they choose you. Emotional dumpers don't target random people. They target specific traits. Let me guess, you're empathetic, you hate conflict, and you feel guilty saying no? Am I right? That's exactly what they need. Someone who will absorb their pain without pushing back. Someone who won't set boundaries because you're afraid of seeming mean or unsupportive. Here's the psychology. When they dump on you, their nervous system regulates. They feel relief. But your nervous system becomes dysregulated. You absorb their stress. You carry their anxiety. And because you're empathetic, you feel responsible for fixing them. They're not looking for solutions. They're looking for an emotional sponge. And you've been volunteering for the job. The worst part, they often avoid people who would actually hold them accountable because accountability requires change. You don't push back, so they become their preferred target. The cost of being a dumping ground. Let me tell you what this is costing you. Your energy, your mental health, your time, your own emotional needs because you're too drained to process them. You might notice you feel anxious or heavy after talking to certain people. That's not coincidence, that's emotional contagion. You're literally absorbing their stress. You might notice these relationships are one-sided. When you try to share your problems, they minimize them, like, at least you don't have it as bad as me, or they offer surface-level advice and quickly redirect back to themselves. And here's the real damage. You start believing your role in relationships is to be useful. If you're not helping, listening, or fixing, you worry you're not valuable. That's trauma bonding, not friendship. You deserve relationships where support flows both ways, where your feelings matter as much as theirs, where you're not just a crisis hotline. Here's how to break the pattern. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first because you've been trained to prioritize everyone else's comfort over your own. Step 1. Stop being available on demand. When they call to dump, you're allowed to say, I don't have the emotional capacity for this right now. Can we talk later? Watch how they react. If they respect it, great. If they guilt trip you, that tells you everything. Step 2, ask for consent to give advice, then hold boundaries. Do you want advice or just to vent? If they say vent, give them a time limit. I can listen for 10 minutes, but then I need to go. Stick to it. Step 3, interrupt the cycle. When they start spiraling into the same complaint for the 10th time, say, I've noticed this topic really bothers you. Have you considered talking to a therapist about it? You're not their therapist. Stop acting like one. Step 4, test reciprocation. Share something you're struggling with. If they change the subject, minimize your feelings, or make it about themselves, you have your answer. That's not friendship. Step 5, let some people go.
I know that's hard, but relationships that drain you without filling you back up aren't worth keeping. Saying no to emotional vampires creates space for people who actually care about you. The truth about boundaries. Here's what will happen when you start setting boundaries. Some people will respect them. Those are your real friends. Others will call you selfish, they'll say you've changed, they'll guilt trip you for not being there like you used to be. Let them leave. Anyone who punishes you for having boundaries was never respecting you in the first place. They were using you. You are not responsible for managing other people's emotions. You are not a bad person for protecting your peace, and you are not required to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. If emotional dumping is just one way people are draining you, you need to see my next video on 5 signs someone is emotionally manipulating you, including the subtle tactics you're probably missing. The link is right there. Stop being everyone's therapist and start protecting your energy. You deserve that.